This video is for converting fractions to decimals, which is the reverse of what we just did. And the key to figuring out how to put this into a decimal is you make the denominator 10, 100, or 1000. Once you have a denominator of 10, 100, or 1000, then it's just one step to get it into a decimal. So this first example, 6/10, is already in the proper denominator form. So you know by what this is called. It's called 6/10, that you just write a 6 in the tenths column. So 0.6 is 6/10. This one, 8/20. There are two ways you could do this. You could make a denominator of 10, or you could make a denominator of 100. So if I'm going to choose to make a denominator of 10 because I've looked at this and I've realized I can divide both top and bottom by 2. So 20 divided by 2 is 10, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4/10 I can write as a decimal like that. The other thing I could have done is made it out of 100. So 20 times 5 is 100, 8 times 5 is 40, 40 100ths would look like this, but you might have an extra 0. So same answer both ways. What about 6/50? We can't make a denominator out of 10 because you'd have to do 50 divided by 5. And you can't evenly do 6 divided by 5. But we can do 100. Because 50 times 2 is 100. So then we can do 6 times 2, which gives us 12. And 1200ths is written like that. If you do enough of these, you'll get used to seeing certain denominators and knowing what to convert them into. So this one, we have 20 as the denominator again, but we can't divide top and bottom by 2 because 7 does not divide evenly in half. So we're going to have to multiply by 5 to get to a denominator of 100. So 20 times 5 is 100. 7 times 5 is 35. 3500ths is written 0.35. 3/5. What do you think you would do for this? What can we multiply or divide 5 by to get 10, 100, or 1000? Well, we can multiply 5 by 2, and that'll work for the top as well. So 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6. 6/10 is written 0.6. 7/5. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm also going to multiply that by 2, which gives me 14/10. Now, is this number bigger than 1 or smaller than 1? 5/5 would be 1 whole, so 7/5 is larger than 1 whole. So 14/10 is actually 1 4/10. Whoa. So the last digit in 14 is in the tenths column, and the 1 is kind of bumped over to here, which makes sense. It's bigger than 1. Another way you could have done that is you could write 14/10 as a mixed number. So 14/10 is 1 whole. So I've used up 10/10 to make 1 whole. 11, 12, 13, 14, I have 4/10 left. 1 4/10. And then you can still write that as 1 and 4/10. That's a tenths column, and I've got 4 of them. So whatever makes more sense to you for those fractions that are greater than 1.